welcome back to our channel. Ruth here, and in today's video I'm excited to share with you the top 10 routine of the most successful people. So let's get started. Number 1, very successful people, they write down what they need to do. Now that's interesting. It could be writing down or it could be typing it out, but they're actually able to see what they need to do, and then they work out in their minds, in their brains, as to how to maneuver that. You know, my husband always say, if you can see it, you can seize it. I think that there is a certain amount of truth to that, because when it's written down, you know, it's there and you sort of detach yourself from it, but then at the same time, it's clear, it's not vague, and you know exactly what you need to do. So that's step number 1, write down what you need to do. Number 2, most successful people have short-term and long-term goals. Now that's really, really important, because if we set goals and we don't know how to distinguish and differentiate between, you know, long-term and short-term goals, guess what? We're going to be completely overwhelmed, right? So personally, I actually have got long-term goals. For example, in 10 years' time, my vision is to be ABC. This is what I want to be doing. In 5 years' time, this is what I want to see. And 5 years ago, I actually set a 5-year goal and 10-year goal, and I actually saw it come to pass. But at the same time, if you want to achieve those dreams, then you need to be able to set some specific goals, usually within the next 12 months. So personally, every year, before the beginning of the year or at the start of the year, I actually look at my goals and I go, well, what do I want to achieve in the next 12 months? And then I work backwards and I begin to say, okay, well, if by the 31st of December, I want to achieve this goal, what do I need to do to get there? And I begin to narrow it down and write down a list of things I need to do. And then I'll say, well, for the first 3 months, this is what I'm going to do. The next quarter, this is what I'm going to do. And I even break it down to, like, you know, months. And then that month I'll plan and say, okay, well, on a Tuesday evening between 7 and 9, this is what I'm going to do. On a Thursday evening between the hours of 6 and 8, this is what I'm going to do. And I try my best to stick with it. Okay, so it's so important that we actually differentiate between long-term goals, short-term goals. And there's a saying that goes like this: many people underestimate what they can do in 5 years, but they overestimate as to what they can do in 12 months. What that means to me is, I feel like sometimes, you know, personally, when I first started this goal setting thing, you know, years ago, I felt a little bit impatient and maybe a little bit discouraged, because I felt like, well, I haven't actually achieved these goals yet, right? But see, I was too impatient when I started. But now that I've learned, I thought, you know what? It's okay. I may not see it right now, but in the next 12 months, I'm going to do what I can so that in 5 years' time, I can achieve those dreams and those goals. And you'll be amazed if you plan and you do your best and you are consistent. Yes, that is the key. Consistency is the key to success. If you are consistent in your endeavors to become successful, to achieve your goals, you will see success. Because success doesn't just come by overnight because you work hard for the one day. You have to keep going, keep building, keep establishing, and put a little bit of patience into it. Okay? Number 3. Successful people are not distracted. What do I mean by that? Now, nowadays we get a lot of different notifications. You know, we've got emails, etc. But successful people, actually, they're very careful with what they allow to hit their eyes. So they check communication as and when needed. And most successful people, if you read some of these journals of millionaires and billionaires, they actually say they don't actually touch the same message or email twice, right? They just do the one thing, and once they're done, they move on to the next task, and then the next task, unless, of course, it's really important and really urgent. So it's important that we get rid of distractions, you know, whether it's turning off our phones or putting our phone in another room whilst working on your really important tasks, or turning off notifications, and then once you've accomplished your task, go back and checking, and then check your messages, etc. So that's number 3. Number 4, successful people have a routine where they have a calendar. They schedule things in their calendar, or they have a to-do list. Now, there's been a debate, of success coach as to which is better. Oh, I've got to-do lists. Oh, I don't believe in calendars. I'm just going to go with my to-do list. Some people say, well, I'm actually just going to schedule everything in my calendar and I'm planning by the minute. I think those success coaches are amazing because I haven't actually been able to do that yet. But personally, I actually have both. I have a calendar that I work from and a to-do list. I actually schedule my really, really important tasks into my calendar, the one that's non-negotiable, and I make sure I accomplish them. And then I've got my to-do list alongside that I can get to. And some of these things might not be very, very important, and they can actually be rescheduled to another time. So that's what I do. So successful people have a calendar and or a to-do list. So make sure you have them. Number 5, they prioritize their MIT. What's MIT? Most important tasks. Okay. Now, the most important task is essentially the task that's going to bring change to your life in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So it could be something like, a home-based business that you're working on. So let's say you're a mom and you're currently starting a baking business or a jewelry business or an online business, right? So that's something that's important. And your vision, let's say, is to be able to achieve financial freedom so that you can take your family on vacation. Perhaps you want to reduce your husband's, burden on his work. Maybe you want to grow your business big enough so that you can replace his income so that he can come and join you in your business, so you can both achieve financial freedom and time freedom as well, so you can work from anywhere. So perhaps that's your goal. And if that's the case, then your most important task essentially is in growing your business so that in 5 to 10 years time, you don't have to be working for someone else anymore. You can actually run your business. You can be free. You can be flexible. You can pick up your kids when you want. You don't have to take leave every time you want to go on holiday and your boss writes you a long email, etc. I've been there. So what is your most important task? So make sure you prioritize that and have that in your calendar, and make sure you that is non-negotiable. And once you've done that, you can go and do everything else. Number 6, successful people, their routine, they eat well. Well, the thing is, I'm a little bit biased because when I finished law school, I was working in a law firm, 8 to 5 job. I fell in love with this program called Body Pump. Now, some of you might know what it is. It's a program that was pioneered by Les Mills, which is originated in New Zealand, but it's really huge here in Australia. It's across every gym. And if you go to the gym, you might actually have encountered this program. So I eventually became a personal trainer and a pump instructor, etc. So I know that looking after yourself and eating well is important, but don't take my word for it because I'm biased. Research shows that billionaires are interviewed and they all have this one thing in common, and they all say eat well. So if you want to achieve amazing, greater success, it's important that you actually look after yourself and eat well, because at the end of the day, you have this one body. There's not another body. You can't transfer yourself to another body. Maybe one day, I don't know, with technology. But make sure you look after yourself and eat well. Number 7, again, sleep well. So again, looking after yourself, make sure you get enough sleep, enough hydration. And number 8, they exercise. So that's interesting because most successful people, they will wake up early in the morning, they either swim for 2 hours or they go to the gym, etc. They actually exercise and they keep their body and their mind sharp. I actually think that it's quite important that we exercise. I feel like there is actually a direct relation between your body and your ability to perform. I personally don't exercise in the morning because I'm not a morning person, but I try as much as possible. I try to exercise. Now, even though I am a qualified personal trainer at the moment, I'm a partner in a law firm, so I don't actually have a lot of time. I don't teach at the gym at this moment because I get really busy, dealing with legal cases and just running this firm. But as much as possible, I feel like if I've exercised and I've lifted weights, that week, I feel more empowered. It's almost like this I don't know, a happy hormone thing. I feel like I've achieved something that's hard. You know, I've lifted weights, I've done my squats, I've done my push-ups, and it becomes easier for me to take the next step to actually get into the law firm and work on what I need to do, and also running the other businesses as well. So definitely exercise, because that's what successful people do according to research. Number 9, they reflect and they improve. So it's important that we just don't go and do. We need to actually look at the blueprint and go, well, okay, well, these are my plans. These are my, let's say, marketing plans. Is this working? You know, if you're spending money on your business and you're growing your business, you're spending money on Google ads, or you are paying a marketer to do your SEO, your search engine optimization, you need to actually go back to them and say, how much is this money converting? You know, are you doing a good job? If not, am I going to change my marketer, right? So it's so important that we actually reflect and then improve from there, find ways to actually increase profit, cut costs, increase efficiency, etc. And finally, successful people, they all have this in their routine. They learn. So whether it's reading a book or listening to an audio tape, etc. A tape, my goodness, millennials will not understand what a tape is. I do. I grew up in that time. But anyways, but listen to like a YouTube motivational messages. And so never stop learning, because if you want to be the best in your industry, keep feeding yourself more of those materials so that you can be the best of the best. So those are the 10 routine of the most successful people. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And last but not least, would you be so kind to hit the like and subscribe button so we can keep you motivated on a weekly basis. And you know what? That's going to mean the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.